We are not building an empire. Could see Apostle Justice branch where. No, the branch is there to bless the community. Snale spiritless angwathi tsukuyin is a handicap. You know, esikhuleni sokuthi when we see someone making it, sihambe sonzele to learn, we jealous. Ngoba ngisho sikhona kule mihlangano yethu singemakhinza fuku kanje. We don't have that brotherhood njengemaSulumane. Yabona the Muslim community. Because I did so many wrong things, my life was almost messed up. We are preventing, you know, leadership catastrophe in the future. Because remember, leadership begins at personal level.
Fundis, you are a very busy man. Libandla libuke wena, bantu nethinking atabo individual babuke wena. You mentioned off air ukuthi mphethe live, not just Swaziland but also South Africa spiritually. Maybe someone would want you to explain that when you say you are leading the country, maintaining the country spiritually. What does it mean?
Angibonge kakhulu Nxumalo, ngibonge nakuyo iBridge for giving us the opportunity ukuthi sikhone ku informa, you know, the world out there, umhlaba lo lapha ngaphandle ukuthi as worship center sikhushutela sibizingani. I know ukuthi nangisho le statement ukuthi myself as the leader, the pioneer of the worship center vision, together with the worship center as a church, task yethu defined. Our tasks are defined. Shothi umsebenzi wenda koqaqile asikhushuthela mahala. We know what we are doing and lama results ethu siyawa monitor so that isikhona ku measure and keep on improving. Coming back kulolo kushoko ukuthi what do I mean nangithi si maintainer iSwaziland spiritually ne South Africa spiritual. What do I mean? Very simple. Your worship center spends thousands of emalangeni on monthly basis in order to broadcast the gospel on radio, being VOC radio for the past 18 years, on television, being channel Maswati for the past 10 years, say ngle social media, because now I check our social media. Le following lenginayo kuleli page la worship center iyasho lokuthi ku busy timpilo tiyatsinzeka tebantu ka VOC. Our program, it's a mainstay program, lokusho ukuthi uma siyikhiphile kuba ne outcry because people have highly patronized it. Remember ukuthi Jesu wasinika nakulokuthiwa i-Great Commission, wathi go and preach the gospel to all nations. He never said go and preach the gospel to a particular community. The Bible is clear, to all nations. So we took it literally to say the nation of Eswatini and together with the nation of South Africa, because these nations, they collaborate a lot.
Yes.
There's so much.
But there's one actually,
culturally, everything. Yeah. So we then took advantage of the mass media, because it's difficult to reach people like house to house or gather them in a particular venue. So we took advantage, let's get them through the mass media, being radio, that lene listenership lenghulu radio. And for radio, sa stepina into VOC, Voice of the Church. Every Friday, 1 hour from 9 to 10 in the evening. We are preaching the gospel, we are praying for the sick, we are telling people that Jesus is ready to save them. And also on that same platform, Sipinze's project has broadcasted the prayers that we make for the country. So if you look at it, then we are also on channel Emaswati every Sunday at 7 sonven. So that at least the influence your worship center ibe felt, ibe projected, you know, ibe released week after week, non-stop. So a lot of people, Nxumalo, that can tell you, these programs, if it was not for them, their lives wouldn't be what they are. And as a church, you remember, we've been running morning prayers also for the past 18 years. Morning prayers where we gather people interdenominational, regardless ukuthi ukhonda kuphi, praying for the country. We believe ukuthi a lot of things that are good that are happening in the country in the today, there's a bigger portion, a contribution that has taken place from the spiritual sort of impact, the spiritual sort of contribution le sender as worship center. So nangithi ke manje simaintaina le live kusho ukuthi that continuous non-stop presence on the radio, on television. So that now answers your question. Now you are maintaining the country spiritual. What do you mean? That is it in a nutshell.
But you are just talking as if I've been to South Africa. Your footprint has gone big there. What's your contribution in South Africa? And ulanzwa in South Africa uzube ne footprint lenga. Where exactly South Africa?
In South Africa, we invaded, we entered the digital media space. Satsengai at time on 3 television channels like DSTV. The first one is Swane, that's a community station.
Yes.
Short is Bugula predominantly Bandaba Lekbo Pitori, right
Centurion.
up to Northwest.
Yeah.
It's one. Then Sases Ngena Nagu Khao TV. Khao TV covers basically the whole of South Africa now because that has become a commercial TV station. But DSTV told us that.
Yeah.
And then also one gospel.
Yeah.
So those platforms, we are there for 1 hour, 7 days a week. We pay serious bucks. 1 hour, 7 days a week. This is pay TV, remember. For you to access those channels, you must subscribe on your DSTV decoder. So 9 provinces are able to watch my sermons every day. For the past, Singene DSTV 2017, so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This is year number 7. Non-stop consistency. We budget here for television, digital media, being radio, being TV locally, TV South Africa. We spend about 250,000 a month.
But what's the return, Mfundisi? When we get these things, we get them for free. What was the return to the church for so much? Mahala, quote unquote. How do you feel any return? Not gonna see business, Lena, but
because there is what is called securing people's destiny. Securisha destiny emuntu ukuthi umnike some guidance, spiritual, social, psychological guidance on how to process and manage their lives well. So it's an investment in the true sense of the word. We're investing in preserving lives. We're investing in ensuring that people live their lives the right way. Because if so many people are transformed by our sermons, the outcome which we are going to have an economically improved society and community. So we look beyond what worship center will get. This money leaves the church. It leaves the church's coffers without us expecting anything in return. Sipilivela kunakuthiwa long-term investment. You are busy pushing yourself, working hard as though you are not doing anything. But later on in the years, the results will start showing. In South Africa, every evening, 1 hour, all the 9 provinces are able to watch my program. And my program in South Africa has become a mainstay program, highly patronized. Why? Because of the consistency. Every night, when you tune into your TV by 9 p.m., Apostle Justice will be there. Every Sunday before you go to church, 7 a.m., Apostle Justice will be there. So that consistency now creates a momentum. Connected to that program. And because I am a teacher of the word, I teach God gave me the mandate ukuthi angi-improve impilo tebantu by teaching them principles, imigome, ma-nuggets latawunda sibaphile impilo tabo right, based from my own experience. Ukuthi lo kwasita mine, let me disseminate it, let me distribute it, let me broadcast it to others. So yes, that's our budget. It's not a joke. And this thing, to manage it and maintain it.
Yay. Because also the production team pillar behind. Never mind what you pay.
I mean, we've got these guys that have straight from Limkoking. They came to work for the church. Ngabo laba ngama producers zethu, laba ngama capturers of the footage bese baya edit and then we take it out.
But Mfundisi, the other thing that I worry about, if when there's so much work, kufuna phela urecord wena, kufuna ukuthi oversee ukuthi does it. How do you then manage the time ngoba phela kufuna u-maintain elisonto, ufuna u-administerishe on ekseni sathandaza lana. There's a lot of work. Do you find the time at least ukuba namake nebamvana ke nifanele nibuka nemehlweni nithi ngisaphila?
Well, that question, as you are asking it, you know, yeah, it's a mystery. I call myself a person who works 8 days a week.
Yeah.
And 30 hours a day.
Yeah.
Because to administer all these systems, because we call these things systems, so for me to be consistently and professionally and efficiently present on the South Africa DSTV platform, I've got to have robust systems that will ensure what's good mistakes, things that go wrong there. So I've got an office in Johannesburg that we moved into 2018. I've got staff in Johannesburg that are there, who are just there to ensure what we send from Swaziland to South Africa to be broadcasted is what it should be. So they also liaise with the TV stations from Johannesburg. So my work, I've got an office here in Babane, office Lotegulo. I've got an office in Johannesburg. Like 1 week Swaziland, 1 week Joburg. 1 week Swaziland, 1 week Joburg. Like when you are interviewing me, this is my being in Swaziland week.
Yeah.
So from Monday till Friday I'm here. Next week I'm in Johannesburg.
But Mfundisi, I'm worried, man. You must make sure ngoba lana travels manyendi ukuthi, you know, that's how my strokes happen, because you are highly sought and overwork yourself. You must balance it up. I hope you do.
I do ngestyle, because you've got to apply wisdom. I'm one who's very conscious about my health.
Okay.
So I jog, I eat
good.
healthy, and I do rest, though people don't believe that I do. My wife can tell you there are days where I'll just be in the house, basically sleep the whole day.
Yeah.
Rest the whole day. So my Mondays, I try to make them my sabbaticals. And some Saturdays, because remember, with the worship center, sort of national all-night prayers. Monthly. So abitanga national because we bring people from the 4 regions for them. We send out buses. People jump into the buses for free.
But when I come into the church, it's now more than a church. This is an institution. I look at the Catholics, I look at the Roman, the Catholics, and all the other denominations that have expanded at the global level. I look at the institution here. How many people are daily working for this institution just to make it tick and work? Because each time in Figalana, I'm meeting Bemvla Basha, getting in and out. I think it's beyond just a church. It's an institution.
Yes, people that are on full-time employment in this church, bang 25. We have hired 25 people that are on full-time employment in this church, because it's an institution. I mean, there are so many components. It's the media, we call it a department. The media njiyodwa inalama editors, inalabo cameramen, inalabo producer, and these people cannot just be part-time, they are full-time. Kunemuntu longadibana naye uthi uyambuta to 7 lapha to 7 worship center umbute wendani athi nga TikTok department.
Yeah.
You see, he comes here just to manage TikTok. He's a full-time employee.
Yeah.
Lona now uyambuta athi mina ngimanager YouTube ne-Facebook.
Yeah.
That's where I work.
Yeah.
Now uyambuta lo athi mina ngimanager Channel S ne-VOC.
Yeah.
That's where I work. Uthi ubuta lo athi mina ngimanager iHlawu TV, i1 Gospel ne-Tshwane TV. Shows now ngikhanze deskini. That's my work profile.
Yeah.
So that's how we've done it. Then you find the ladies who are presenters. Takutshela athi mina I'm a presenter. So would say when Apostle has done the sermon, I introduce the sermon for him on television. You find another guy who mina maintain le building in groundsman. Ngimlo uyabona kuhlobe njani lapha.
Lo munye security, lo munye bo logistics, bo driving, administration,
transport manager.
Yeah.
Shows nakuthi service he has to ensure ukuthi emabhasi la ethu plus lawa leswa outsourcer kuleswa contractor onke asethiwe emengemuva uyabona nasingena emhlanganweni eboardroom ngilo bika idepartment yakhe ukuthi konke kumengemuva. So yeah, kunema cleaners. I mean, you can't run a church as big as this ungabi nebantu abali cleaner, ungabi nebantu who ensure ukuthi the bathrooms, the plumbing system is in order ngoba nabastay full abantu imitho lapha I over 20. Uyabona?
No, I can see. Yeah, no, I can see.
So all these things are controlled in my office. I'm the one who's got to ensure that these systems I've put into place are working.
But Mfundisi, here is where I have to ask pointedly. If you build an institution like this, hard as you have done over so many years, let's say can you promise me, Setedieng, that should when they God forbid happen to you, this institution will not crumble? Because in the past, problem of leadership, grooming and all of that, mentorship has led ukuthi athina kuhamba umfundisi sesiyabanga worship sokuna worship center A B C D and F sekune bamvu baphumile bayelena lisomvuse labhidlika ngoba there was no leadership, grooming, mentorship to ensure this institution will not crumble after so much hard work. Can you look at me in the eye and say, Vele Lena, you are going to ensure that there's a smooth transition of leadership, the institution will outlive you?
Mina, my biggest strength, now ngangbuta nje Apostle, what is your biggest strength? My strength is in learning non-stop from the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
So I'm very inquisitive. I want to know, would say, in a church that was so powerful like that, and the leader died, and then this happened, what were the loopholes? What was not done which was supposed to be done? Then I use those answers to now design a system that will ensure, would say, my own institution does not fall into that same pit that other church fell into. To answer you direct, into lengveling is strict in this church is building a legacy. I'll use the word legacy. Nangsho legacy shows angifuni ukuthi should anything happen to me bantu bathi how lo wakusena apostle yathithi into bethi ngihambe, which means I am forcing the men and the women, the people that are members of the church, labane potential, labakhombisa good quality leadership skills. I'm investing in them, including my own children. My children are involved in this ministry like nobody's business.
But would someone
which means le system lengisetago yekuthi should anything happen to me immediately, and another Apostle Justice must sort of show up, who will now be just, replicating what was happening.
Okay.
So I've got these private meetings where I would be speaking, to certain, people in the church to say, do you understand this? Do you see how we're doing? Labanye ngibathume ngemabomo, hlale emuva ukuthi asengubona uyenda le. So even the branches, mina ema-branch ami ngiwarana ngale ndlela, they are sort of franchised. Shows now ngumfundisi waleyo branch sifuna ukuthi usebenze ngandlela athi tawuqini yakho.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yes.
So you're grooming these young
I'm
pastors.
grooming them ukuthi ibe yakhe shothi some kind of a franchise. Uyayibona i-franchise.
Ngiyabona,
Shothi sikunika the systems.
Okay.
Sikunika the recipe. Sikunika the model. Ukuthi njengoba uyibona worship center irana kanje, replicate it, do the same in that branch. There's no need for us to be looking for a pastor. No, we want to groom you. Lota ukwenda ukuthi as the church grows, when uthumele ma royalties, which is your tithe to headquarters,
Yes.
but you do all the controls yourself.
Okay.
We don't want to salary you. Salary yourself. If you collect offering ya 50,000, decide ukuthi i-salary yakho kutabang malini. Do you want to take 20%? Fine. You push it to 100,000. Keep on increasing your income. Shots we are badala we.
Oh yeah.
So good to taba ku bangisa umsindo. No. So you don't need to worry about anything.
Okay.
Copy what you are doing there, duplicate it there,
Yeah.
produce the results you see here. Because lelbandla lilapho la silihlanyele khona, we are not building an empire. Kuthi Apostle Justice branch where. No, the branch is there to bless the community. You see,
Yes.
I'm not interested to be known. Nalena Apostle Justice. That's why you never hear me bragging ngalogama branch, because that's not what makes you. What makes you is the impact. So that we are making in different communities. So National Bandla, for instance, in South Africa, that pastor must impact that community. So I empower him and groom him so that even if anything happens to me, he is clear. He is here to impact, transform the community.
Yeah, but of course, are you active with institutional bodies and so on, like League of Churches, Council of Churches, and many other?
I'm a member, full active member of the Swaziland Conference of Churches.
How is the growth or otherwise of the church outside of this church now? On some of these things, for example, that you are saying, how to groom, how to ensure that the church grows into an institution with labanye bafundisi ngoba kulabanye bafundisi ukhanza kuliwa man.
What kills us, let me talk about the African man. Forgive me for using that. Angikhulume ngemuntu lonsundu wala Africa.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know in the Central, Eastern, West Africa, but in the southern part of Africa, including Swaziland. Snale spiritless angwathi it's is a handicap. You know, eskulen sokuthi when we see someone making it, sihambe sonzele to learn, we jealous. So kulukhuni ku-empowerisha kuhlephulela kushiyela ligwayi umuntu lokubuka as a competition umuntu lokujelasako ngoba ngisho sikhona kule mihlangano yethu singemakhinza fuku kanje. We don't have that brotherhood njengemaSulumane. Uyabona the Muslim community lokubenda babe strong, they are taking over nations, brotherhood. In the Christian Pentecostal community, brotherhood I exist. Look, existago i competition.
But it's ngaenda kanjani ke mfundisi ukuthi leyo si how can you undermine it the competition because kunema strengths lahlukahlukene.
You need to humble yourself. You must humble yourself. You see, God has used me. I mean, we can still do more. That's why I will not stop learning. I will not stop asking questions. I will not stop traveling, not because I'm going to preach, but to learn how others are doing what they are doing, which is far bigger than what we are doing. Lapa, if you call ngasukela umfundisi ngithi mfundisi yathi lisondo lakho man alihlambuluke man yini ungefiki lapha sesike sicocisana shelana eligwayi uyoqabanisa lo mfundisi ngiyamqhwensa ngiyamqhoshela ngiyadigabatisa. So you decide to run your race, you know, stay in your office, maintain your privacy because awufuni kubonakala ungathi so uphaphela umuntu. But it's in they recently have established another movement. It is called Securing Your Ministry, where I sit down with the young pastors ngibacoach ngibashiyele eligwayi ngibaqhushisa ukuthi kuze kuthi ngende lokho leni ngibona ngwenda. These are the secrets that I'm deploying continuously. So ke nakuyo na uyibida Eswatini batomala bafundisi, who's calling us? I mean, who are you? Angithi vele lo class as part of us. You know what I'm talking about.
I know,
you
Africans.
know what I'm talking about. Now when you talk in the space len so your other lesingaba bita ngokuthi ngema what's this word I'm looking for? People who are in the same space. You see each other as competition.
Exactly.
Nibange followers.
Exactly.
Actually, chance they criticize. It's the cancer that hinders the progress. Unfortunately, I don't know. So let's not go on that anyway. Maintain South Africa. I think you got that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we do. We are very strong, Nxumalo. We are very strong. My followers are art, and we are very intentional in one key word: outreach, impact, outreach. Impact. Those are buzzwords in our operation.
But Mpondisi, you seem to have this obsession with the young people. Whether you are doing something for them, you are concerned about young people. You've done the first of its kind in Mavuso. Even in one of the four things that you do, you talk about the young people. Why do you find that you must invest so much in young people? Because we don't care about young people, Dlamini.
Because I did so many wrong things. My life was almost messed up. I almost never became what I am today because remember, I grew up in a broken down family structure because ngakhuliswa mina single mom asebenta as a housewife those days. Ngakhuliswa ngogo. My father was never there because ngatholakala ngumntwana nje lotelwe ngumfati le babo lomntwana kamati washonaphi yabona. So in the process of that happening, I was highly disadvantaged. I suffered, I went through a lot of emotional pain. Ngakwathi kuhlupheka ukuthi kuhlupheka kubhlungu kanganani kukhula kude umloti awusinangi babo wakho ubike kuyena ihlupheko takho mako wakho lofuna kubika kuye ulimited ngokumsebenzi la wendako is so menial yabaka holy lutho. So I learned to fend from myself from a very tender age. I had to do a menial job nga form 1 phuma esikolweni ngihambe ngosebenza emajaldini because I needed to help my mom pay my school fees, you see. So those things left a mark in me to say young people badzinga kuhaneswa, because if my own life was harnessed well, maybe I would be 10 times better than what I am. So that now, created a zeal in me, a desire in me to say, I will not allow young people to make the mistakes I made. One, I will not allow young people to lack mentorship like I did. So many young people, they don't lack parental guidance per se, or just to have a decent home and parents who care. What they need the most is guidance and mentorship. So that's why Banla Basha A Worship Center young people in this ministry, they are given priority like nobody's business. We start taking care of them from the age of 3. This church has got what is called children's church. Children's church in the true sense of the word. Shothi umntwana siyamthatha nakana 3 years ahamba ungena in their church. We'll give you some of those clips utowabona. In their church, snel class la 3 to 6, 6 to 8, 9 to 11. So there's 3 divisions in that church. And then we've got teachers laba trainwa continuously to doctrinate, to establish these children in Christian values. Kunema pillars labafundziswa wona: the fear of God, the respect of people, the deviation or running away from anything that is evil, the working hard at school to become an academic champion, and the serving God and your generation. These are the 5 pillars that we introduce to the children.
Okay, that's very nice.
Yeah, so labantwana laba, then we have what is called a teenagers church. Lobona nje lapha, last hlangane kwa, this is a church, it's a teenagers church. Shows there are pastors who specialize in helping a young person between 12 to 20. we help them. So all the pressure they went through peer pressure, everything, we try to address it on the Sunday. That's why Lelsondoleli Investor, we spend 40,000 plus every month to bring them to church. We send buses to pick them. There's 300 children who come here every Sunday, almost every Sunday, 300 children. I'm talking about the 3 to 12 and the 13 to 20, 300 plus every Sunday. We're investing in them like intentionally. The teachers or the pastors, Balabantwan, we don't just ask them to volunteer, we stipend them. Short, we pay them something to ensure because they do this thing with motivation and babe committed, babe by as a responsibility. We're not buying them, but to show them because this is a serious matter. Futures of these children are in your hands. I'm busy with the big church, but I'm relying on you to instill what needs to be instilled in the lives of these children.
Ooh, that's beautiful. But and then you have had, for example, in the past, you've made some very bold statements about the state of leadership in the country, in business, in the economy, and everything. Are you happy? And I'm glad you say you pray for the country a lot. Are you happy with the state of leadership of the country? And I'm not talking just in one area, across the board. In church, in business, in politics, in the economy, and everywhere. Do you get a sense that one, we are leading in Christ, two, are we leading with the right values and ethics, but also number three, how we in these different spheres of our country projecting ourselves in society in general?
To answer that question, I will use the adage, prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why e-worship center I invest, me myself personally, invest in maintaining the country spiritually by way of teaching Christian values through the mass media. The reason for doing that, we are preventing, leadership catastrophe in the future. Because remember, leadership begins at personal level. Mm-hmm. Then it goes to family level. Then it goes to, community level. Then it goes to institutional level. You are leading a company. Then it goes to national level, like Bansebangena, Bababo, minister for what ministers of state. But every person who is a leader today, whether you are the chief justice, whether you are the CEO of an organization, whether you are the prime minister of the country, whether you are a chief in the community, you started as a child. What was instilled in you while you were still a child?
Yeah.
If these core values, kwesaba uNkulunkulu, kuhlonipha abantu, kubalekela i-corruption, kuyekela nje tinzo letingakahlobi leti corrupt and immoral, uyabona, responsible living and servanthood, living to serve God and to serve your community. If those things were never instilled, the moment uba ngminister uyongenela kuntshontsha, uyongenela sisu sakho, ungenele nekunyathela labanye bantu, because you don't have those values instilled in you. That is the deficiency that Worship Center and myself are addressing, dealing with now. That's why we gather young people, like even that clean fund we did in Manzini, a few years back. It's just to instill the core crucial values. Because remember, Nyalo Skalo Swaziland and South Africa, gender-based violence. I mean, this can be solved. I don't believe there's a child Lotahokula Worship Center learning the things we are teaching them will grow up to abuse his family. It will not happen. To grow up a abuser and substances like alcohol, drugs, and you name it. Because we are instilling those values. Now, coming to the country, to answer your question, Gutsi, what is your take about the current state of leadership? One, let me say to you, based on the broad spectrum, now leaders generally as Africa, our country is not doing bad.
Yeah, okay.
Why am I saying that? Yes, no person is perfect, but what I appreciate about our head of state, the king per se, ngulokuthi abe concerned about improving the infrastructure of the country. One of the things that I really implore him for, the state of the roads of the country. Imigwaqo is the best in the SADC now, apart from South Africa, which is a first world. But now, Komberisha, Lesotho, Malawi, we are paradise. Look at the electrification. I mean, if you go to typical African nations, you'll never see something like
true,
this. We must implore the head of state for that. And also,
I think we're not that bad.
Even also the containment of crime. There are many people now who are avoiding going to South Africa. They rather come to Swaziland because if you come to Swaziland, you know that your car won't be hijacked at gunpoint. You know that you won't be mugged when strating like it happens in neighboring countries. So the containment of the crime, the development of the infrastructure, and the effort towards improving the general livelihood of the Swazis, I mean, that must be applauded. Because meaning the statement when they complain about our own head of state goods, also check what other head of states are doing in their countries. The level of corruption, the level of crime. You know, the going ons in those nations, you'd come back and appreciate Swaziland. So that's my take. But yes, having said that, there's still plenty room for improvement, especially because I don't understand why a small country like this cannot give every Swazi decent health services, medical. There's no reason for a person in Swaziland to say ablawe enhloko just because of chronic diseases. This country has got enough capacity financially to give every Swazi decent medical care. I'm telling you, that one Swaziland needs to really step up. Kumele liswati naligula liyesibhedlela esidecent lithole imithi mahala lelive elincane kakhulu. Look at the corruption that has developed just around the medical supply. Yabona, because kunalabantu kulelive who I can say vele banetinhlitiyo tekuthi bayivete kabi lengosi. Banenhlitiyo nje tekuthi ingosi yenyanywe bantu. Real. There's no reason for all this looting that took place around the medical supply. No reason. Dilapidating, running down the hospitals, bantu bayeti bedlela bayitfola imithi just because of a few individuals who are concerned about ngetisutaw. And I pray ukuthi kulolo hlangothi lolo our head of state a toe line, which in as much as he can have private business or whatever he would do for himself, like all head of states does, but angaqala entertain lenzo kube nebantu labaganga bathi leverage ngayo batiqinise ngaye babhaqe ngaye, because that kumfaka isithombeni lesibi in the eyes of the people. The people of this country love the king, but kunebantu vele nje imission yabo noma lendlela ba operate ngayo ibese ienda labantu benyanye the head of state, benyanye lengosi ngoba baganga batiqinisa ngayo. I hate it with passion.
But you're just speaking about that. My one that pains me. Education. What is happening there?
No, ungichutshwa nguwe phela ngisaqhubeka. Mina nje ematonza emanyeva mangithu. Ngile health sector. There's no reason really ukuthi kube neliswati lelingakhona kuyesibhedlela esidecent libuye nemithi. Uyabona lelapheke nje kahle bodokotela babhadalwe kahle konke sikwendela ngoba singangala marvets nelafana nabo Singapore, uyabona bo Kuwait, all these smallanyana countries. Things are happening there because it should be advantage lokuthi livele elincane. It should be easy for the head of state and his government ukuthi labantu bamababasila abanene asibanakekele wonke umuntu abe ne decent medical access, uyabona, services access. Sesibuya kule education, that one pains me. Angiqale ngingene kuyo kanje. Nyalo i-worship center through a foundation, Social Justice Foundation, le formed 2 years ago. We are taking nabantwana. Le hulumende uyabafundzisa through the free education system from Africa bashiye ka form 1. Afike ka form 5 ka grade 7 akasayi nabo ka form 1 uyabona hulumende nake fika lo mntwana bekasola angabhadali school fees nake fika form 1 sekumele acayele pass kanti lo mntwana uyinzanzana and I was shocked and depressed nangiva the office of the DPM lithi bonke abantwana labathi inzanzana balethe documentation bete nema guardians abo bato prove ukuthi vele lo mntwana uyinzanzana blah 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 only to discover ukuthi hulumende only gives contribute 1.9. I was shocked. Sine sinebantwana labangi 40 lesibafundzisako. We are spending on school fees 9,000 at least per child. 1.9 ngeke aze lo mntwana amenda funds. So leyo i-agent because ngeke umntwana umsite kahle the whole of primary nakumele aqhubeke manje high school so udambiwe. 1.9 igama lalo 1.9 it's a technical dumping.
Yeah,
it's a systematic dumping. I'm telling you, to be seen to be doing something that you know very well will not help the way it's supposed to help. So nyalo sinale stressless school because kube imali bengiyibumba bonke labantwana worship center beyitawa bhadarela the full school fees like tomorrow. So laba bethu lesibathethe laba under the worship center foundation program, what we do, we pay the whole school fees for the whole year. We buy them the full uniform. We give them bus fare every month to go to school. And then we also provide for them free extra classes. To secure. It's true. To secure.
We need
it's true. It's documented.
We must fact check you.
You have to check it. No, we've got an office that manages it because remember, our core mandate, our passion is to secure the future of the next generation. You can't do it half-heartedly. So labantwana lokusisende nje 1 spadala sonke le school fees. Labanye bo 6,000, labanye bo 7 point something, labanye bo 9,000 kuya ngokuthi ukusiphi isikolo, but that's the average, that's the benchmark. Over and above that, we say to the child, concerning your uniform, don't worry. The package comes with the uniform for the whole year. If it's winter, we'll give you the winter jersey, we'll give you the winter jacket.
Wow.
You see, I'm talking about from top to bottom, including shoes. We do it. We've got I personally check them. Then the office guardians now gives the child bus fare. Bus fare for going to school Monday to Friday. Connect lunch. So we sort of stipend the kids. Over and above that, we now bring the children to church month after month classes. So that is to check how is home, how are you doing. We check so we give them education plus spiritual empowerment too. So we cover them socially, spiritually, financially. Bese labantwana lesibabona ukuthi abaperform kahle sesibafaka kuma extra classes, sibathola thishela we-maths, sibathola thishela we-science, sibathola thishela we-Singisi. They come on a Saturday for that, especially nasekusonzele my exam, so that they can produce the best results. Why sende nje you ask? Phela uma sitabanika le mali kuphela sibhadala school fees bese send i-follow up. Shots we are not being responsible on the investment we are making. So si safeguard le investment to help lo mntwana because nasa pass lo manager wabo nje lo supervisor this program kusho ukuthi uphatha la mafile labantwana informe thina in the church ukuthi lo mntwana lo these are issues lona uperforma kahle lo munye sengile ngawuhlola ekhaya ngathola ukuthi ekhaya kubo kunenkinga kude kudla ngcono si improve le ekhaya kancane lo los informago was funded by this same program, so une degree ka medical field uyi pharmacist. Uyabona ubenefite kuphi from the same program. Samthatha ang0 I personally picked ngathola ukuthi ufele form 5 ngambuyisela ka form 4 ngamphusha wa repeater waphasa kahle form 5 sam enrolla e medical university. We paid the whole tuition na hulumende wambhadarele portion waze waqedza yo graduate. So ngathi buya ke ngoba le program ikusitile sitanaba labanjengawo.
Yes.
So u connecta kahle nabo because she has walked that road.
Yes. Mfundisi ngifuna kubuya kunayi le uya 2021. There is a sense from some people that maybe there's a little bit dark cloud hanging, that maybe as a country we need some form of a spiritual cleansing after the 2021.
Yeah.
And we've seen like push le past food. It's like nothing happened. We look up the church to lead us, and we may have strong political opinions or strong guns. We can be moderated better by the church on both sides. Labalabeva strongly about one issue and the others strongly about it. Ningadlali play role just to cleanse as a country and find each other and begin to communicate and talk. What are the things that we suffered and faced during that period, and how can we get better as a nation at a national level? No, I'm not just talking about individual level.
Lokubulala le live in that regard. Kunel verse lelithi in the multitude of counselors there is safety. That's what the Bible says. Bese kuba nalelinye lelithi remove the wicked or the corrupt from around the king, so that his throne will be established in righteousness. ISwaziland ithethe into lengayadi ukuthi ibuyephi, because it's a new thing. Lokuthi le live lelisel operator ngana system na ye intimidation. Le system lena yekuthi uma umuntu akhuluma into letinge maqiniso longathi litalisita le live kuguqulwe lokho into some kind ongazothi uqeke la phansi noma you are disrespecting the head of state. Of course it's very important ukuthi when you speak, you are vocal about certain things letingahambi kahle, njengoba sikhuluma nje ngale health issue, sikhuluma ngale education, kumqoka ukuthi uku address in a respectful way, because that is our culture. But lengwala komne ngilothi kube nebantu bese laba gain mileage ngekuthi bathathe lo mlovakala ungathi ukhuluma into letawo sita live bamvete to the powers of the day ukuthi lo muntu lona ungazothi uyidissident, uyabona ungazothi ulivukela mbuso. Now ubuka nje manje many Swazis including religious leaders, they are very much afraid. Mina nje kwanza bangibuta lesibinzi lesingakusithatha ngifundisa ukuthi ngeke uboshwe. It's not supposed to be like that. Kude umuntu kumele aboshelwe ukukhuluma, umuntu kumele aboshelwe ku-threaten i-violence, aboshelwe i-terrorism, aboshelwe kufuna kubulala nokulimata impilo dalaba. But to opinion, freedom of speech is a right for every citizen of any country. So lapha into lesibulala angadi, I'm subject to be corrected. Ukuthi one, ngoba ngake ngasho kunayi audio yami that went viral, ukuthi kunemba emabandla labekiwe akhethwa ngiyo inkosi yelive, ukuthi kuthiwa liqoqo ngema advisors enkosi. Likhulu leligama ngalichecka na ku dictionary, advisors. Now advise umuntu umkhombe usho ukuthi uba indlebe yalesive, ube indlebe yalo lo advisor bese uyabalansisa ukuthi ungathi lokukhalisa abantu nginako, bese lo muntu uyamqhushisa lo ngumholi njengami nje ngiyaqela emalida zami ukuthi ahlala ngiqhushisa. So uyayithatha le ngumholi, okay asesende lokusende lokuthi nje wena uthi ngale saga sa 2021 sekubinziwe ngilokuthi one sekuhlanyelwe le spirit sekwesaba, two kunalama advisors lo ngathi aholela ini. Mina nje ngifisa umuntu sekamana ngiside uyathi ngiqansi ngingakhuluphala lokulengiko atongitshela nje sithi qha mpostoli uyathi teluleko siyativeta mane siphose sibulawe nasiletha noma letelule kwatithathwa, because I don't believe ukuthi kulo monakalo wa 2021 kude tinyathelo letiqatha leti radical lokumele singathi yadibona vele tiyathathwa. Okay kukhulunywe sibayeni vele evakala inkosi yelive isho ukuthi lokho aku-addresswe but akukeneli kimi. Mina I feel ukuthi bekumele aphindze asho asibite sive sakhe noma abe nendlela noma yakuredo noma yakuphi akhulume nje ligama lelifisha ukuthi kuloku nikhalisile Maswati ngivile.
Yeah.
uyathi likhulu lelo
futhi noma ngeke kwenteka lutho emva kwaloko but lokuthi nje sitawulashwa ngokuthi sivale
1 ngivile 2 bantu lotawuthola sinakuvuka loludlame nabongosi yambendi wabohlungu ifrustration indlala noma kuqabanga nje kuthi abanakwa bagcina labanye babo babulewe bafa ngishaqekile ngibuhlungu uyabona kwendlule kufike esigabeni sekuthi laba lotawuthola sibabonakala ungazuthi nabo bayakhuluma nje lokuthi yabona yathi liva lihambe kanje lokwakwentu kanje but bangabonakala baphatha sibhamu banga victimizwa lapho
okay
laba lotawuthola sivele kunebufakazi ukuthi kuze kushe takhiwo ngabo kunebufakazi benda lokho kube nendlela yokuthi kudelishwe nabo but nakhona lapho kunana kulokuthiwa ngema extenuating circumstance ukuthi ngize ngenda lokhu nje bengishiswa yini so ngisho lo muntu lo umjezisa akubi sibhuku especially nangathi ukuthi labantu abambaze bagila tika nje ngimbe ngingabaniki imali bathi gile tika ngilimatle but nami ngisifakile sandla uyabona angisashayi ngamakhuni angisasiqi uyabona so I feel ukuthi mina le incident ya 2021 kunengi la kufunzile lo imbube esive semaswati kunengi la kufunzile naye wabona ukuthi okay bantu vele nawo bahola bayifuna indlebe 1 number 2 tikhalo tabo tiyadzinga kulalelwa number 3 nakwendekile bahluthuka kufuna sibese uqhamuka ne strategy lesitawenda ukuthi ingaphinzeki lokuhluthuka lokhu sekusijikijela kuna indzaba se university lento leyendeka lapha e-University of Swaziland is a time bomb nangabe shothi imbube emhlaba na hulumende abakafunzi from lama incidents abo Black Wednesday abakafunzi from the July 2021 July 2021 uprising ngoba kwaqala ngenzabathabani inzabathabani yaba itrigger yasita ya create atmosphere yokuventa a boiling frustration uyabona ngoba lento ufuna tibuke critical ukuthi izinzabathabani blow out of proportion kwende njani yendeke ebantwini laba vele ba frustrated bakwatile so they leverage on it big time so hulumende kanye nenkosi yelive abasukumeli university by ensuring ukuthi leya university leya is fully financially capacitated inikwi subvention inikwi imali ku improve le facility abhadale kahle ma lecturers bantwana batholi allowance full sponsorship make those children happy now wenda njalo uqisha umlilo lo possible wakusasa lokuyekela le university ibe kule stateless kube betele sikuvako athi minister we education ngigunyatwe imbube emhlaba yelive lemaswati ukuthi angente lokho nalokho minister we finance athi ngilungisa ibudget lengaka iuniversity itsheliwe ukuthi ayi-improve onke ama-facility watshelwa lo education nayo lo labor and social services ukuthi ema-scholarship aphuma onke njengoba njalo lincane lelive akube bethu umntwana ongasponsorishwa ngesikhathi labantwana labasesebancane ngoba ngabo labavusa umbuso baketula umholo wase Egypt Mubarak it was a youth through Facebook lamketula baqwala lapha bathi you can't take the young people for granted. Last what in 60% of the population is the young people. And go easy bona lokuthi ba influencer ne ba Jovan. ISwaziland ingaqali sentele sposes. Ingaqali emabhunanga angayitshela ngeJune 16 uprising. Ban labasha ba ingodi and la kumele hulumende asukume khona athi nkwe kulungisa university. Alungise school fees ebantwana base high school labathi nzanzana. Don't let a young person become angry. You will pay.
Yeah.
No one wants a repeat of July 2021 in the country. The king does not want that. And ngiyaqela ukuthi lo hulumende lo musha lo holwa ngumfundisi His Excellency Russell Dlamini amane angathi uNkulunkulu amsithe njalo lokuthi bayezamela inkosi ukuthi ingabuyele lelive lingabuyele kule situation ya June 2021, especially because where I sit, remember, I'm a leader who is very popular. I travel a lot. I interact with a lot of people. The incident ya 2021 is not over. if nothing serious is done, itawubuya kwasho Maswati ingasadli inkobe zamuntu. Because remember ukuthi at the moment kuboshwe nje just baqede namthandeni. Abakaboshwa direct because they are responsible for what happened. But what I'm trying to say was there were many players in different approaches during that incident. And a lot of them are not in the country, they escaped. And futhi lengaphandle, they are not alone. It's easy if we don't do something le positive, le bonakala ukuthi we are doing something. Labantu labalengaphandle ba connect with enemies of this country and come back for us. Sebangasadli inkobe zamuntu. Kuthi into le dangerous ukuthi ujatshulise ukuthi le nyoka uyishayile yabaleka but awukayibulali total. Ngoba kusene ngode ethi ibuye. Uyakhala seyineligubu.
Uyakhala ke Nkosi loku ubusa nje kulena. Uyakhala umfati wathula Maseko Maketanele Maseko. Uyakhala uthi yena uyacela uvungaza uthi lisondvo likadlala indzawo yayo kibo ezibafelokati besimo sepolitiki kangwane ezibafelokati bamvula balimata amaphoyisa ezibafelokati ngoba emadvotsa abo ahambile exile emadvotsa abo aboshiwe njengabacede uthi uma ngabe lisondvo belingafanele babhandishe more than it does. Ingabe wena do you feel ukuthi njengelisondvo nikhonile yini kuba sonzelela noma senisonzela ngemthandazo nje kuphela?
Mina lokungishaya lapho ngileke sakhuluma lokuthi thine bafundisi baseSwatini nemasondo nje aseSwatini singathelelane emanti. Uyabona sine League of Churches iphethe onke amabandla eMazayona. Sine Council of Churches lephethe bo Roma bo Shesh bo Methodist nabo bo Lutheran. Then sesine Conference of Churches lephethe lamabandla bosindisiwe. Onke lamabandla lawo anabo president. We understand. Over and above that, Swaziland at least over 2,000 wemasondo nje latimele. Uyabona? Independent churches obhica nalawo lange denominations. Labantu lokhuluma ngabo. Mina nje angathi nokuthi ngidawuthi ibhadi noma inhlanhla ukuthi uthole ukuthi labantu labagcine babulawe labantu babo. Labantu lothole usibagcina sebasala labo make babodwe madoda exile. Abekho la sondweni lami. Yeah, phela kuzama ukuphendula. Lokuthi abekho la sondweni lami sengiyayengeka ukuthi ngoba phela lisondo leyayati responsibility yayo ukuthi lisondo linemthwalo noma line mandate ukuthi libe yi-advocate for moral justice, moral and social justice. Liphindze lisondo libe ne responsibility yokuthi libe i-social and spiritual uplifter. Mina ke ngiditshela ukuthi njengoba ukhuluma ngamake Maseko nje usesondweni lo asesondweni linemfundisi lo mfundisi une affiliation.
Okay,
so lo mfundisi should ambasadele make Maseko ukuthi hey uyathi ndzaba yena ngisafuna kuyomobilize nabo Apostle Justice sisukumele
ningabonakala
ngoba mina la sengidawusuka nje sengiyafohla eve lo mfundisi ngifakele imessage angitshele ukuthi why ke manje mina sengidodenda ngcono kulemvu yakhe. Uyabona ngilawo ma dynamics leyo political yasesondweni lenda ukuthi uthole kusinebantu basafarisha. We can't confidently thina labane sibinzi yebona sibakhulumele nje siloma ke nimentela ini ehulumeni sivinjwa ngilokuthi lo muntu akekho kulesibaya sami ngidawuthi ngiyamkhulumela kulesa bese kuthiwa mina ngiyogena emamakhe. Uyabona so bonke nje labantu laba ukhuluma kahle nabe bakhala nje bakhala kahle vele lisondo has a mandate, has a duty to ensure ukuthi labantu bayayithola le moral, social and political justice bayasukumeleka. Uyabona but ke vele lama structures sifosekile sisiwahloniphe ukuthi umfati wazibani kodwa ukhonda kuphi laba lababoshiwe bafati babo bakuphi lamasondo endana banayena umfundisi. Uyabona but mina where I sit vele sengithi ngatetha by default ukuthi I'm a voice of the voiceless.
Yeah.
Lokusho ukuthi nabathi vele ungasibacinzetelekile, my door is open. They can come but ongitshela ukuthi Apostle Simbinjeke la na ungamani usikhalele la. Mina ngitshela ukuthi kude la ngete ngangena khona nangiphethe indlo le just ukuthi asengiyokhulumela nanqumalo ngoba vele unyathelekile wamguni. Uyabona la kumele niqonze khona vele ngiyawuqonza mina. Nabe ngashifu ngiyakhona. Nabe ngisengatolo ngiyakhona. Nangabe ngile uyabona kahulumende ngiyakhona noma ngisenkosini ngiyakhona. I believe ukuthi every pastor should be fearless in terms of representing and speaking for those who cannot speak for themselves.
Nako ke sengigcina mfundisi siyafuna ukubona nawe kalozitha ushumayela leliqiniso lo lolushumayela onke malanga ngoba angathi kule invitation singaze siyithole kanjani asikubona boni kule masondvo lamanyenti la kente kalendasi la kunethi ikhulu khona deliver nakuphatha itemandla lapho khona mhlawumbe sebengake beve umoya kaJesu noma longcwele uchamuka ngendlela lehlukile leta uthi ithi shumela live iphindze futhi inike advice ukuthi live lingabambeka kanjani uyakhona inimfundisi ukuthi uthi ngiphakamise isandla ngicela invite nami ngoba naku ngibone boMechavi ba invite and many other pastors they get there they never speak the truth to power.
Maybe lo ngibulala ngokuhlabe Nxumalo 1 ngatendela sincumo kaDzeni mina ngifuni kusebenzela sisu sami nje leyo nje sincumo sami angifuni kwenda into because ngifuna ku securisha what I will eat tomorrow. Mina ngifuna ukuthi ngisebenzele igeneration yami nje letinto lengitikhuluma kola lokukhala ngenzaba yehealth ngikhale ngenzaba yeeducation ngikhale ngenzaba ukuthi nje lelive lincane kude eliswati lokumele singale yalamba this country is too small le mali enough mina nangathiwa nje ngiyaqelwa ukuthi asubuye Apostle nawe so to opinion nje ku session noma iforum lethi sakha live with pleasure I would go such that lelo khuluma ngathi angiveli ngani kuleti inkonzo letendiwa bukhosi leto inkonzo leto umlo njengami loku professional loku proper ukuthi uthole invitation if I can get the invitation with pleasure I can go but ngeke angusebenzi mina lokwenda into ukuthi ngendele kubonwa noma ngendele ku ifavor yabona ngingumuntu lophila impilo le private ngalokuthi nawubuka aba prophet basendulo baseBhayibhelini bebangaveli noma kuphi so ngathi tshela lokuthi I'm the voice of God I'm the eyes of God I'm a servant of God in this country just like in the same order and the discipline of servants of God of the Bible bebangamafuki noma kuphi but if an invitation come njengoba Daniela wabithwa sekabithwa inkosi ukuthi ekuvela inkinga esigodlweni I would go with pleasure but believe you me I will not change my advocacy I will not change my campaign I will not change my conviction dafe ngikhulume exactly what I've been speaking all the years guidance ukuthi loku akungendiwa loku is the right way lokutawu sita lelive your majesty this is what will make you popular with your people please address ABC so isemoni yami vele ngeke ibe ngile ukuthi ngiyogitsa lapha vele itawufike yona ibe religio political religio political because kumele ngithathe lemigomo eBhayibheli ngilethe kule political operation of the country leadership of the country so that lento ito balance ngoba la Bhayibhelini kunalama values lasho ukuthi bantu evena abanakekelwe i-livelihood yabo is number 1 uyabona the voiceless must be heard their voices must be heard nalokuthi nje le moral social justice must be pushed accordingly so mina nje ngiyadiwa I think nalokuthi kuthethe isikhathi lokuthi lencwadi yami ifike ngilokuthi basatadisha lokuthi batang faka njani ngoba yathi ndafika ngithini so I think my letter is
still coming I feel mfundisi siyabonga kakhulu sicela ukuthi mfundisi usitshele ukuthi ephasika sidla kanjani lo mnyaka tikuphi tinkonzo silana sonke noma singephandle
sonke siphelele sila thina i-Good Friday yethu it's almost a national event in the sense yokuthi kuloluhlango silwethe ngolo ikakhulu letabo sinzisiwe vele we are a church for all people shothi semukela bonke abantu from all denominations nalabangakholwa wa unchurched si create i-atmosphere ne platform let's see feel free come and worship with us so liphasika lethu vele likhulu for the longest of time so wonke nje lofuna kuye enkonzweni yeliphasika la atawufike athi khona ukuthi lona leliphasika lisho ukuthini ngibenefit kanjani from what happened over 2000 years ago worship center is the place to be ngoba vele we siphusha lama benefits ukuthi aze ete Jesu yini la isecure shela umuntu lofana nanqumalo
iphinzeleke mfundisi uthi wena noma ngabe ngikuliphi lisondvo
noma ukuliphi lisondvo bayebete nje laba lapha aphelele ngejoin yakhe yonke yaseziyona lo munye etaphelele ngeyakhe yase yabonga ubozibovu uthi uyambuta athi ubese ushaywa sikhathi wabona athi akaphambukelela bafike bakhonde kube ngisekhaya thina we are the church for all people asinenzaba uthi uqhamuka kuliphi lihlangothi kuliphi libandla asinenzaba nekuthi utawungena la sonto nobonakala ungathi so uhuzu lwetshwala neligwayi we are the church for all people siligarage siyindlu yawonke so wonke nje lofuna ukuthi thola ichance kuyokhonda uNkulunkulu during liphasika worship center is the church to visit
siyabonga